What's up, Maha Gang? It's your host, Maha the author, and you're tuning in to episode 2 of Sex Talk at 1 a.m. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to last week's episode. I got some very good feedback from you guys. I really appreciate the ones who DM'd me, inboxed me, let me know I did a good job, and to keep up the good work. I love you guys for that. First and foremost, I want to make sure everyone is safe. I know a lot is going on regarding the whole coronavirus outbreak, and I know wherever you are, businesses are either closing or their hours are changing regarding the outbreak. I don't know if all cities and counties schools are closed. The ones in my area are closed for 2 weeks as a precaution. I'm sure everyone is taking the extra precaution as well. Pretty much keep doing what you're supposed to be doing in the first place. Making sure your hygiene is taken care of. Making sure you're covering your mouth when you're coughing. Making sure you're covering your sneezes with your elbow. Also, washing your hands properly. You can use cold or hot water. Just make sure when you wash your hands, you're washing it for about 20 seconds. Or like they used to say in school, saying the happy birthday song twice. Also, dry your hands with a towel and not rub them on your clothes or shake them dry or anything like that. Always use hand sanitizer or wipes to open up the door if you're in a public place. I know people don't ransack the stores, but me being a mom, I always stock on things like paper towels, sanitizer, hand soap, tissue, just always stock on basic things like that you need on a regular day. Always make sure you're wiping out any surfaces that you're using with your family or that sort of thing, your cell phone, door handles, keys, computers, keyboards, all of the above. Avoid touching your face, eyes, nose, and mouth. Me working in the hotel industry, a lot of hotels are allowing you to cancel or change your reservation dates without any penalty. So if you have to go out of town or anything of that sort, driving is the best. Also stand away from people who have the common cold. I know if our kids catch a cold, we don't have a choice but to be the supportive one, to be around your kids and take care of them. But still, taking that extra precaution around this time can be helpful. If you can't afford a mask or gloves, you can go to the hospital. They will provide you some just to be on the safe side. Now, on to better and nasty things. Regarding this whole coronavirus and the kids being out of school, we definitely have to keep the sex life alive. So that brings tonight's topic to the upfront, and it is very helpful to some. Also tonight I have my husband Zay sitting with me.
Hey, how y'all doing?
He's going to be sitting with me for a little minute, giving his man insight to some of the questions that we're going to be talking about tonight. If you don't hear from him later on, he have left the nest. So one thing we're going to be talking about is sexting. Technology is technically our best friend. I know you're scared to say it, but it's true. When you think about it, we always have our cell phone with us. I recently experienced this the other day. My daughter took my cell phone on accident, and I had gotten to work and, started looking for it and almost lost my mind. I know that sounds crazy, but it's reality. That just lets you know no one wants to leave their home without their cell phone. We have Apple Watches, laptops, and like I said, technology is our best friend, whether you want to admit it or not. So when you think about sexting, it's basically another way you and your partner, whether you're married, single, or even mingling, can do. Sexting is a form of intimacy that can be used to boost up your sex life. This is basically a time you can be creative. You can do some role playing, call out some sex names. If you and your partner work different shifts, sexting can be a big part of intimacy as well. When you're away from them, you start sending those messages, setting the mood right, and they can't wait to get home after that. What are some of the do's and don'ts you think comes with sexting?
The do's and don'ts that comes with sexting. I'll say things that probably don't turn you on.
Oh, that's a good one. Turn offs. It's kind of like don't cross any boundaries with your partner. So if you know they don't like to be fucked in the ass or anything like that, please don't send them no message say, bend that ass over, I'm going in. Or something like that. So you definitely have to know your boundaries with your partner. Definitely when you're trying to do a sexting or some of that sort. You don't want to turn them off or anything like that. They're gonna be looking at the phone like, damn, like who, you must meant to text somebody else that, because I don't get down like that. So that's good. One there. What is another one you think? I got ones. So basically, don't use sexting as a way to fix any problems. So if you guys been arguing, all morning, all day, and then they getting off in the evening time, late evening, or regarding that night, and you want to send a sexy message to them or something like that, you're not gonna get a reply because they're still mad from what took place earlier. So that kind of defeat the purpose of a sex message or that sort of thing.
That should be alright. That should be cool though.
What?
To do that.
I mean, sometimes it just depends on your partner. It depends on if they're not headstrong or anything like that, or if they realize that the argument earlier today was not that serious and they're looking forward to get home to you. And so it just each his own. Like I said, that goes with knowing your partner, knowing who you're with, and knowing the different boundaries that you have. Also, work messages. So is it okay to get a sexting message at work, or you prefer not?
I mean, it's definitely cool. Okay to get a sexting message at work.
Why?
Because it'll make you have something to think about while you at work and make you more anxious to come home to your significant other.
I would say a sexting message towards the end of your shift or something like that would be good because listen, I ain't got that much time, I ain't got that much longer, or that sort of thing. But sending a sexting message soon I just pulled in work or something like that. And when you say sexting message now, I'm laying on the bed naked, legs open and everything else. How he gonna come? How he gonna come right then? He got a whole 8-hour shift, so that really defeat the purpose of waiting to come home. Yeah, maybe a sex message or that sort of thing, but on our next topic of naked pictures, definitely.
You can send a picture like that with that message on it now.
So yeah, send a naked picture with the message on there.
It's more of a mind thing.
Well, every man can't control themselves.
I mean, don't sext them.
So if you're a man and you can't control yourself, do not be sexting because you will lose your mind or you may cut off a finger. Just depends on the job that you're on. If you're on the job and you're dealing with heavy machinery and that sort of thing, you might lose a finger and send a naked picture or something if you can't control yourself. What about saving messages? So are you supposed to save a sexting message?
I mean, you could. Why?
I mean, it's kind of like, what's the point of saving a sexting message? Because it's supposed to be something to savor. Or, some people have phones that have like little private apps on their phone. Me personally, I have kids that use my phone. And so if I do participate in sexting messages or anything like that, I do not keep them in my phone. Period. Because they would definitely see it. Give me an example of a sexting message you were sending.
I probably say Good morning, beautiful. Hope you have a great day. Can't wait to taste you later.
Okay.
That's more of my style.
Okay. So that's kind of like a tease. So,
I'm more of a tease with it.
right. So send out sexting message and you're teasing and that sort of thing, kind of stringing you along. They'll definitely get you wet. Definitely get you wet. Um, sexting message example for me would be I can't wait to wrap these nails around your dick. That sort of thing. How they'll make you feel.
I love that. That's cool.
So it's basically a different way that you can say it.
I can't wait to put it in your mouth.
That's a sex admission. And even, if you're single and you just mingling, and you always want to make sure that you're safe. And like I said, know your partner, know who you're dealing with, know the person that you're, laying down with or you around. And that brings up my next topic is make sure that you're sending the right message to the right person. So, how do you feel if you're trying to set somebody and you're sexting and end up sending it to your mama?
I feel embarrassed.
Very embarrassed. Very embarrassed. But these, like I said, technology is your best friend. So it makes mistakes just as well as we make mistakes. So you could be sending that message and in the midst of sending that message you may be high and bothered and everything else and you've been on send it to the wrong person. So we definitely need to make sure that we're sending that message to the right person. Naked pictures. So when you send a naked picture, do you send a full body or do you just send a picture of your piece?
I believe in full body.
So full body. Listeners, if you guys participate in sending naked pictures, do you guys send full body or just part of your body? And explain why. Me personally, I don't have an issue sending my husband a full body picture. I trust him. I'm comfortable with him. So I don't have an issue sending a full body picture. As I stated before, I do have kids. So those pictures do not stay in my phone. But yeah, I don't have an issue with sending a full body picture. But when you think about sexting, you kind of want to think about what's the point of sending a full body picture. Sexting is kind of the, teasing, creative aspect of it. So sending a whole picture kind of defeat the purpose of sexting to me. So what about phone sex?
Phone sex. I'll say phone sex is best when you're probably in a long distance relationship or something. Because I really want to see the point of,
Yeah, so pretty much when you're in a long distance relationship, phone sex is best. Because that's one of the ways, on top of sexting, you're going to get in intimacy regarding your partner. So if you're, participating in phone sex regarding a long distance relationship, they have things that you can use: Skype, FaceTime, Google Duo. All of those things you can use to participate in phone sex. If you are in a long distance relationship. Now, I would say if you're in a committed relationship, like if you're married or that sort of thing, phone sex is really not something that is normal. Per se, you see this person every day or that sort of thing. Now, if you have like a traveling job, if you have to go out of town often or that sort of thing, yeah, phone sex would be something that you can use, to get yourself off, before you return home. If you're traveling, if you're working, but if you're in a committed relationship and you're with your partner every day, phone sex is something that is, really useless, in my opinion. To my next topic, couples who want to be, on their phones all the time versus a face-to-face time with their partner. So I know we all have jobs. We all have different shifts. And that me personally, me and my husband work two different shifts. So it's kind of like when we do get time alone and we try to take, advantage of that because it can take a toll on you when you do have all time apart. So face to face time with your partner is very important. You are in an unhealthy relationship. Sexting is very bad. Like I said, it does not help the situation at all if you guys are already having problems. Sexting is basically used as an advantage, to boost your intimacy in your relationship. It's not used to fix any problems with your partner. Now, one of the things you want to think about is sexting legal. So, if you're not in a committed relationship, if you're not married, is it okay to sex someone? Me personally, no. I think it's not okay to sex, someone if you're not together, if you're not dealing with each other. So another human being sending you a dick pic to your phone. It could be a coworker. It could be a former coworker. Hell, it could be an ex-boyfriend that you're not even dealing with anymore, and they actually keep sending you pictures of themselves. They keep sending you harassing messages or that sort of thing, or they have a picture of you that they want to use against you. That all falls under harassment. So if you are dealing with that, you need to go seek help and, talk to someone about that, because that can be very dangerous. They have a revenge picture on you. That goes back to knowing the person you with when you with them, knowing what kind of person they are. If you're not comfortable sending them a naked picture of you, then do not send them a message. Regardless, you can know this person for years. If you're not comfortable with, around that person, do not send them no picture, because they will use that against you. So if you are going through that sort of thing, you need to seek, a lawyer to see what kind of crime, to get a little bit more information to see what you can do regarding that, because it is very dangerous if someone is sexting you without your permission, without you agreeing with anything. So you definitely need to talk to somebody about that, because that is when sexting becomes illegal. So that, just getting a little deep with y'all on that, but I have seen situations, couples, or a guy and girl talking or that sort of thing, they just fall out and this person sending this message and that. So it gets physical. So it's best to protect ourselves regardless of how anyone else feels about anything. Now, if you're a female and you are the aggressor in the relationship, meaning you love sending sexting messages, you love sending naked pictures, you love being intimate with your partner, and you're with a guy who don't quite, like doing things like that or that sort of thing, I would just say talk with him about it, or see, if he's comfortable with it. Like I said, most guys are not comfortable with sending a naked picture or that sort of thing, or even talking about different stuff. So like I said, just know your partner and everything else, because we are all grown. So I feel like if you're grown, you know what to do and what not to do. You make your own decisions. If you want to send a naked picture of your pussy wide open, you should be able to do it. Just know who you're sending it to, point blank. And that's just how it is. So just some examples of sexting ideas you can use if you're not tech savvy, or if you're not creative, or if you're, don't ever do that sort of thing and you just want to try something new or anything like that. Like I say, if you're like a tech person, you can send a naked email. Know who you're sending that email to now, because once it's on the line, hey, you can't go back. You can't go back. So be careful about that. Be very careful about that. Previews, I would say in some message, I'm gonna, let you do anything you want to do to me, or that sort of thing, or that you fuck me all night. Anything to get your partner's attention. I want that big, fat, long dick down my throat right now, or that sort of thing. But you definitely can't be scared to send anything like that. And if he's a real man, then he's gonna take that full force. You know what I'm saying? You know, what man wouldn't want to receive a message like that? Come on now. And basically give them something to fantasize about. I'm picturing you in between my legs, you know, right now. I'm picturing you with your long tongue licking my pussy or something like that. You know, give them something to look forward to when they get home. You know, I'm thinking about you. You know, I want you to hit it from the back all night. Have this pussy scream. Just little stuff like that. And one of the most important thing is teasing. So I always make sure you tease when you're sending a sexting message. And I would say one of the things about teasing is you can say, damn, I'm so fucking wet right now. You know, or something like that. I'm touching myself now, you know, or you know, my hand in my pussy right now, you know, or something like that. So I just got out the shower and I'm fresh for you. Or, you know, something like that. So just some ideas for you can, you know, put the mood in the whole sets and things. So, you know, he'll be running home to you. I promise you. He'll be running home to you. And also you can use like things that happened in the past, like any memories that happened in the past. So you can say, damn, you had me wet as fuck last night. Or damn, I'm so as hell, you fucked the shit out of me last night. Or something like that. Or, I mean, you can pull up them past memories. Trust me, he gonna be wanting to hit that shit again. Trust me. I always give compliments or, you know, anything like that because men love that. They love when you give them compliments about something. As well as us women, we love that as well. So you can always say, damn, you felt good as fucking me. You know, or that sort of thing. You make me so wet. Um, you know, damn. I'm just, you know, just thinking about it got me fucking tingling. You know, anything like that could, you know, turn you on beyond measures. I'm just here to tell you. I always want to make sure you use words that you and your partner always talk about. So when I say use word that you and your partner talk about, I mean don't be like no romance novel because I am an author and I do write. So don't be like no romance novel and say, damn, I want your cock in me. Damn, I need your member in me. Or that sort of thing. He gonna be like, what the fuck is you talking about? Like, what the fuck is you talking about? My member? My cock? Like, what the fuck is you talking about? If you don't say dick. So make sure that you are using words that you and your partner use all the time. Don't be trying to pull nothing new. Because the first thing they're going to sit up there and say is, you know, who you was sending it to. Like what the fuck was that? That you move with somebody else, you know, or that sort of thing. So I always make sure that you are communicating and using the same words that you always use. You know, your dick was hard as fuck last night. You was all up in my fucking stomach last night. You know, I want an encore. All that sort of thing. So just repeat use the same vocabulary that you use all the time because it definitely comes in handy. But that's it, you guys. I hope you guys learned something from this episode. Sexting can be, you know, fun if you trust and, you know your partner. If you're sexting with someone that you're not committed to, then you're risking, you know, your privacy and, you know, making yourself more vulnerable. So you always want to make sure you know who are you, you know, sexting with, who you're sending naked pictures to, and even who are you doing phone sex with. Be showing your twat. You know, he don't want to be showing his dick or nothing like that. And, you know, you haven't even known that person a week. And so you definitely have to make sure you're keeping yourself safe and that sort of thing. And in a casual relationship, any person that can stop seeing you and forward text messages to strangers or that sort of thing, they can send them to their friends or anything like that. So we definitely want to steer away from anything like that. But basically, that's it, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sex Talk at 1 a.m. Please stay tuned to episode 3 next week. And I look forward to talking with you guys. Stay connected with me on Facebook. Go like my Facebook page, Sex Talk at 1 a.m. Also, my YouTube page, Maha the Author. You can follow me on Instagram as well as Maha the Author. On Facebook, Artris Mahazlin Mac. And that's the show. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sex Talk at 1 a.m. See you next time. Bye.